Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. We want to welcome you back to the UnRuffled Ladies. We are excited to be back with you again, to chat with you again. We just want to just invite you to just come on in and let us know where you're coming in from. California, New York, Houston, just the surrounding. Just let us know where you're coming on in, where you're coming in from. So, like I said, we are excited. The UnRuffled Ladies is a platform where we are able to share our stories, and most of all, not just share our story, but to be made whole, healed, and made whole. That's what the UnRuffled Ladies is all about. Of course, it is for you to become confidence, balance, and at ease. Confidence, balance, and at ease. It is important for us to always be confident, balanced, and at ease. And many times, as you hear me say all the time, that is a big thing for a lot of women to know how to be especially balanced. Balanced. I do want to let you know I am Dr. Jeana Ned, along with my host, Felicia Harris and Rosalind. So we are just excited. Today we have a great topic that we want to talk about. You know that we're getting ready to go into the holiday season. And many times going into the holiday season for many different reasons, there's grief. There's grief. There's a time of sorrow. There's a time of disappointment, and all kind of things goes on in this time of the year. But we pray today that we'll be able to give you some pointers or some things for you to think about in that time of grief. Of course, our topic for today is holiday grief, how to manage holiday grief. And so we did have a coach that was going to be with us, a counselor that was going to be with us today. Of course, we got the news early on today that her voice went out. Ooh.
Sorry, Miss Ray.
Yeah. We want to just say God bless you, and we know that you're going to get well soon. Hope that you're watching. But yeah, her voice went out. But we are here today just to bring some pointers to you on how to handle holiday grief. Holiday grief. Now, we definitely want you to chat with us. So let us know that you're on. If you have any questions, if you have any answers that you want to relay or ask, make sure you do that. Let us know where you're coming from. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And if we ask you come on, like and share and invite somebody else to be a part of the holiday grief. That's what we're going to be talking about. I want to start off before we go into our questions and answers on today. I want to start off. I will read an article, a part of a book of Joyce Meyer today, this evening. And I just want to kind of share some of the things that she talked about on grief. I thought it was some things that is was really good that I thought that I would like to bring out. I can't find my glasses. Yeah, here. Yeah, that I would like to bring out that she talked about on grief. How many of you know that many of us we all of us go through some type of grief? So grief is real. It's a real thing. It's real, and so we don't downplay anyone that may be even experiencing it, even right now. It's a real thing, but there is ways that you can overcome it, and that's what we are here to do today. To just give you another thought about it, on how to overcome. But she said one of the things that y'all like my glasses.
They're beautiful.
And I can't see. Okay, let's try it this way. Anyway, one of the she said the number one problem facing people today is grief and loneliness.
Ooh.
Loneliness. There's a lot of people is lonely. It's that people encounter major loss in their life, and sadly, many never get over them. When we don't know how to go through our grief, and that's what we're going to help you with, how to properly process that time of grief. It said grief is real. Grief is real. But I want to establish that to be true, but God does not want you to stay there. And that is so important. Yes, we go to grief. We go through grief. And as she said, grief is real, but grief, God do not want us to stay in that place.
Mm-mm.
I want you to really get that. God do not want you to stay in that place.
That's
Amen.
right.
When I lost one of my daughters in a car wreck, 6.5 months pregnant, I went through a little state of grief, you know. And so happened I had someone else in my life that loved the Lord that helped coach me right out of it. It was over a month that I just was just in that crying place, just crying. But God does not want you to stay there. It said why? Because Satan sees an opportunity to try to bring a family or an individual into a permanent place of bondage.
Mm-hmm.
And many times he will use the death of a loved one, divorce, a loss of a job, lack of money, uh, close relationship with a friend, to bring on that spirit of grief. So it is important for us to know is that it is okay for you and I to grieve, but learn how to go through the grieving process to become healed. You know, learn how to go through the grieving process to become healed. As I said earlier, God do not want us to stay in that place. So she goes on to say, she said, the key to victory is understanding the difference between a normal balanced grieving process and a spirit of grief that will
Mm.
try to attack itself to the hurting person. It would try to attack itself to the hurt. I thought that was so awesome. It said, I one help of grieving person get better with the passing of time, and the other cause them to get worse and sink into a deeper and deeper into a pit of depression. So if we
Mhm.
don't know
Mm.
how to process our grief and walk through it, you may need to go to counseling. You may have a good friend that you can just talk to and really be honest about it, what you're truly feeling. Like I said, grief is a true feeling, and it's
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
okay for you to grieve, but don't stay there.
Mhm.
Don't stay there. Walk through the process of whatever you're grieving. And so today we definitely want to kind of bring out some points. And as I say, I have uh, Felicia Harris is with me, and also Rosla. Y'all may want to just say hi to the audience before we get started. But if you have any question, if you have any answers that you may have experienced or you may know, please share that with us. Share that with the audience, because who knows? We never know who is on the other side that is right now in that place of grieving. The holidays is coming. I know my time, if I'm not really careful, is Mother's Day.
Mhm.
The loss of my mother, of course, my sister and my father. Matter of fact, just last year, this time, right after Thanksgiving, I lost another older sister, you know. But because I have learned how to go through the process of grieving, I didn't have a long drawn out period of time of grieving, even with my mom. Now, I still miss my mom every Mother's Day. I just
Mhm.
I still miss her presence, you know, but it's not in a way that I'm grieving over it. So learning the process of grieving and walking through it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah,
Mhm. Hey, I like that part where she give the distinction between of when you just have a normal grief and are when you have the spirit of grief.
yes,
You recognize that the enemy can use a spirit of grief against you to keep you in that state
yes.
and make you feel like you're hopeless.
You're hopeless, right? You're hopeless.
Mhm.
And so, once that we get in a place of hopeless, that's bondage. You're in a place of bondage.
Mhm.
And sometimes if you're not really careful, no matter what anybody say or do, you in that place and you don't want to come out of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You feel
Mhm.
that you can't come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You even tell yourself, well, I can't help the way I'm feeling. This is just, and so what happened? The enemy calls you to lock down. Well, you don't want to talk to nobody because nobody understands you. He'll tell you that. Well, don't try to explain because nobody's not going to understand you anyway. That's the
Mhm.
place of bondage that the enemy wants all of us to be in, is a place of bondage.
Yeah.
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 And we don't want to be in that place.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So as I said, we don't have our guest with us today. That she was a coach, I believe, on grief, and so we just kind of giving you some pointers that we know. Of course, I'm not a coach in grief on grief, so I'm learning as well. But Ross, I want to start out with you. We're talking about holiday grief. Holiday grief. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it, it said, what is holiday grief, and what is uh, what are the my eyes just really terrible today.
Mm-hmm.
Target,
Holiday grief.
and yeah, and what is the targets?
Um, Holiday grief. Before I answer, I just wanted to mention that our guest that's not with us today, she's been on UnRuffled Ladies uh, at another time. And I remember her mentioning sometimes we don't even know that we're grieving.
Yeah.
We don't even know that we're grieving, but grief is very, very necessary. It's very necessary. Um, True story, real quick. Somebody very, very close to me, I'll conceal the names to protect them. Someone very, very, very close to them passed away, and they did not go to the funeral. They were grieving intensely.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't even bring themselves to go to the funeral. So the holidays are upon us, and holiday grief, it refers to a heightened experience of grief during the holiday season where the sights, sounds, even smells, and traditions associated with celebrations can trigger strong memories of a loved one who has passed away, leading to intense feelings of sadness and loss,
Mm-hmm.
even if the bereavement happened a long time ago, a while ago, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And I'm sure some of you have experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
It's 20 years later, but some you experience some of those triggers, and it happens automatically, sort of,
Yeah.
their memory is there.
Yeah.
Their memory is there. It's so um some of one of the first things that is mentioned about these holiday grief is to try to be prepared, like Lady Jeana was saying, around Mother's Day. She already know around Mother's Day, that's a very sensitive time for her,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know so be prepared.
Right. Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I have found out, like I say with myself, Mother's Day is one of my time. But I try to rethink of all the good times that we had together.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of me just concentrating on her not being here with me.
Mm-hmm.
On what I try to rethink on when she was with me. That's why it's so important as families and mothers and daughters and sons, have a relationship, because there's gonna come a time that we are gonna separate from each other,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not gonna return. So the things that help me get through it, I don't have I don't have the thought in my mind, I wish I had her. I don't have that thought.
Mm.
I should have done that, or I should have not did this. Maybe if I had not worried my mother, she would. No, the Bible put it like this: that there's a time and season for all things. There's a time to be born, and there's a time to die. So it let us know that we're not going to be with each other always. So let's make the best out of the time that God give us together. So I
Yeah.
don't have, I don't have the guilt of saying, if I just had a went home to see her, or if I
Mm-hmm.
just had, I don't have that kind of guilt. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I just have the part where I miss her.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just love to be able to, when I go home, hey mama, that's what we always do. Hey mama, what are you? to do that. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
like I said, guilt comes in so many forms. So,
Mm.
Felicia, what do you have to say about the first questions?
Well, just to give some triggers um, to holiday grief that you may experience. One trigger is family gatherings, and I know during the holidays we have a lot of that. And for
Yeah.
some of us that are going through holiday grief, it's really it's really a challenge for us to want to be around, to gather around with other family members because it just makes things seem it's so much more intense
Mhm.
for us. It just um, brings back all of the memories and so forth. So it can be a hard time. As simply as, seeing an empty chair, the chair that your loved one normally would have sat, you know, or whenever you gathered together, as a reminder that they're gone. And
Mm-hmm.
then another trigger is the food, traditional food, the food loved one may have been a favorite food that they like. Um, Me personally, there's I'm always reminded of different uh, recipes and food and stuff that my grandmother used to make,
Mm-hmm.
that I miss around the holidays. And my aunties, like certain family members are known for certain dishes. And so
Right.
when they're not there, it's like you don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's stays with you.
Yeah.
And then there's decorations or ornaments. You might have, um, you know, special ornaments that you put on the tree or you decorate. I know for me, with my mom, we always around the holidays we would do a different craft to decorate the tree. We would
Right.
make special ornaments, um,
Mhm.
do special things together around the holidays to decorate, and it was fun,
Yeah.
So you
Mhm.
miss those times, and then holiday music. We hear a lot of that. You see the commercials. All of that can just have, such a overwhelming effect on you and make you feel, you know, make you long for them even more, you know.
Yeah.
And then of course there's society pressure where, you kind of resent everybody's in a celebratory mood, but you're not because your focus is on how much you miss your loved one.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So those are some
Mhm.
of the triggers. You'll find, you might just be going about your day and something like that just comes up, spontaneously, just out of nowhere. You start feeling a certain type of way, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm. And those triggers are real. But what are the
Hmm.
ways that we can counteract those triggers where it won't put you in a place of you not enjoying your now? Because you still may have, you maybe not, maybe you may done, let's say I lost my mother, but I still, and my father, of course, but
Hmm.
I still have sisters, I have children, I still have a lot to be joyful for. So
Hmm.
what are some of the things that, during the holiday season, what is some of the things that we can refocus that it don't get us in that state of mind of depression or I'm not going to enjoy what is right before me because I'm
Hmm.
so caught up in the grief of my what have happened until I don't even know how to enjoy what's right here before me.
Yeah.
I think a part of that would be do what feels comfortable for you. Like Pastor V mentioned, everybody's celebrating, they doing this, and you're in a different space in your head because you have that loved one on your mind in your heart, and something has reminded you. Well, do whatever feels right to you during that difficult time.
Hmm.
Whether people understand it or not, if you want to share it with them, you can, but do what's right for you. Experience all of your feelings and allow for quiet moments to reflect on them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it happens and you can say, no, I'm not doing that this year. I'm not doing it. this is 20 years later, and this is every year. I'm not doing it. Remember, Lady Jeana mentioned there's a difference between the spirit of grief and having a normal grief that you go through, get over, and then it's okay to remember your loved one during the holidays. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. So continue to be kind to yourself and avoid taking on more than you can handle.
One thing that I want us to understand, a spirit of grief is the spirit to put you in bondage. It's the spirit to keep you in a place of unhappiness. That's the spirit of grief. You know, so make sure that you not allow that spirit of grief to have you in a place where you can't enjoy your now. You know, especially I can see if it's something that just happened, but if it's something that's years and years and years ago, you know, and then it may be healthy for you, your loved one that is still here, that you sit down and you talk about it. Talk about it. Have a conversation about it. You know, because at the same time, your loved one don't want to feel what I want to say, don't want to feel like, oh, okay, I'm here. Why you not enjoying me? You understand what I'm saying? But I'm here with you. Let's you and I have fun now. You know, so you can, that spirit of guilt, grief can take you in a real dark place. You know, where you don't know how to just enjoy what's right in front of you right now. So it may be maybe that you still operating out of 20 years of grief, 15 years of grief, 10 years of grief. Find somebody to talk to. You know, even talk to your family members. Don't let them suffer along with you. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I said, grief, it's a real thing. It's a real feeling. And we're not trying to downplay it, but don't stay there.
Yeah, because you know, letting the spirit of grief overtake you, it affect your other relationships that you have.
Yes.
It affect your other relationships.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Your marriage, your relationship with children,
with children,
with God, because you know that spirit can get you where you angry with God too. Why did you take this person from me? Why did you do that? You know, so it take you in a real dark space.
Yeah. So we're talking about tips on surviving the holidays. Some of the things we're mentioning now. Another one is to focus on what you can control.
Yeah.
Focus on what you can control. Now, you can't control holiday music that you hear, commercials, the stuff that's going on around you, but you can control how much or little you'd like to celebrate.
Yeah.
No one can force you to do anything that you don't want to do. Limiting decorations or skipping the ugly sweater party, you know, all those different holiday parties that they have.
Yeah.
So, you know, this year might help to lighten, you know, a heavy heart. Set expectations.
Yeah.
Set expectations.
Expectation. Yeah. That's good. Another
You
question
don't go ahead.
what is a normal experience for holiday gift and what is abnormal? What is normal? Either one of you can answer that. What is normal and what is abnormal for a holiday gift? Experience for holiday gift. Grief. I keep saying gift. Grief.
So a normal holiday grief is to expect fluctuating emotions.
Wow.
Feeling a mix of sadness, nostalgia, even relief, depending on the holiday moment and the memories associated with the deceased. That's normal to have fluctuating emotions. That's normal.
Yeah. Wow.
Triggering reminders, seeing decorations, hearing familiar holiday songs, that favorite dish that they used to like a lot, and now that they made, and now somebody else has to make it. That happens in my family. Somebody else is making that dish that, you know, my big mama used to make or whatever.
Right.
And how we know that we are experiencing a normal grief experience is we'll tease about it. It's like, oh Lord, who made the potato salad? This don't taste like Big Mama's potato salad. You know,
Yeah.
that's normal.
Yeah.
That's a normal grief right there.
Yeah.
And now the person who made the potato salad might not be too happy. It's like, who made this? So
Don't do it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Leave the potato salad alone. Leave.
so those are triggering reminders. That's normal.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong. That's normal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is abnormal?
Well, abnormal would fall under overwhelming sadness and despair, feeling unable to find any positive aspects of the
Mhm.
holiday season. I mean,
Mhm.
everything is just, you are just in the negative. Everything is negative.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Social withdrawal,
Yes.
avoiding family gatherings and isolating yourself. Uh,
That's what I'm thinking about.
yeah.
Some people they just want to close the blind and hey, I don't want to go visit nobody. I don't want nobody to come visit me. I'm not cooking no food, because that's gonna remind me of, when I'm not, yeah, that's abnormal.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You also might have some severe anxiety or panic attacks.
Wow.
You experience intense physical symptoms like a rapid heartbeat or difficulty breathing
Mm-hmm.
during the holidays. You might experience significant changes in your sleep and appetite. And
Wow.
we have a lot of food prepared during the holidays, so you might find it difficult to eat. You have changes in your eating habits. Um, you preoccupied with the loss,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
um, where you're constantly thinking about the deceased and you're unable to focus on aspects of life.
Yeah.
'Cause even after our loved ones go, life still goes on.
It still goes on.
Life still
Mm-hmm.
goes on. And I
Mm-hmm.
know we feel like life have come to a stop, but it actually, like you said, grieving is necessary. It's part of the life experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
But life goes on. And then there's a feeling of hopelessness and inability to cope, believing that the pain will never lessen and feeling stuck in grief.
Wow. Wow. Do we have any answers, any questions, any uh
Um, yeah, we do have someone.
yeah, we definitely want to include I guess in this conversation.
Yeah, let me get to it here. Um, we have Mina.
Uh-huh.
She says that her mom passed away in 2011, and we celebrate my mom's birthday month every year by eating burgers. We laugh, we talk, we remember.
Yeah, that's
When the,
good.
when the holidays come, we do the same thing. It
Hmm.
helps us a lot, then knowing we will see her again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the
Yeah.
way we have to look at life. Like I said, grief come in different forms. It not
Hmm.
just death, it comes in different forms. But that's the way we have to celebrate the time that you had together. Celebrate, and you have to continue to do that. That's what I do as well. I
Yeah.
continue to celebrate. Wow, I had a mom that took care of me well. I had
Yeah.
Hmm.
loved me. Wow, I had a mom that taught me how to dress. I had a mom who taught me how to keep a clean house.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Everything that I do now is stemmed back from my mom teaching me that as a child. Taught me how to love people, you know, taught me
Mhm.
how to see the good in someone else, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you can just remember some of those good times, I remember the time she used to love to go to the Dairy Queen, just to get ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I had a chance to do that with her, to
Mhm.
go to the Dairy Queen and get ice cream, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to start remembering some good things that happened why you had that chance, why you was together.
Yeah.
And when you
And
do, it don't put you in it helped bring you out of that spirit of grief.
yeah.
Mina said, yes, she loved a greasy burger. Look, Shanti said, I
Mhm.
never thought about grief having a process. And
Mhm.
then she asked, how do you prepare?
Mhm.
Remember, one of our things was, I'm on a different screen, Pastor V. So if you're right there, up there where it says how you prepare for the grief, what does
Yeah.
it say? Can we read that for Shanti?
Let me see.
Yeah, it does have a process.
Yes, it does. Yes, it
Yeah.
does. Yes, it does. And you know what we have to understand, there's a process in everything that we do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a process. It's a beginning and it's an ending. It's
Yeah.
how you walk through your process. Now,
Right.
you and I we may walk through our process totally different. Don't
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
that. It may take me longer than it takes you. It may
Mm-hmm.
I may walk through it quicker than you. If that's just
Mhm.
like, don't feel bad about that. The main thing is walk through it. Go through
Yeah.
the process. That's
Mhm.
what's important is you going through that process. Go ahead
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
give answers.
Well, one of the things I saw was about planning ahead when you know that there's going to be family gatherings coming up. Um, what you can do is, I know sometimes we might get together and ride with other family members, and so if you feeling some type of way,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of stuck there. But if you may want to just drive yourself, because if you start feeling overwhelmed, then you can leave. You can
Right.
take some time away for yourself. You can
Right.
leave, and that kind of give you a way of escape. Where if you plan ahead, you won't subject yourself to all of the other stuff that just kind of comes down on you. When
Yeah.
you're going through the grief.
Yes. Overwhelming.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. I think the fourth question too that I'm going to ask will kind of help in that area. Number
Hmm.
three, the third question, it said, "How do you survive the holidays when grieving?"
Yeah.
So that really would kind of answer her question. If you can give her the answer to that, how do you survive the holidays when grieving?
Yeah.
Because if you are grieving, you haven't walked through the process yet. So that will help give our answers on how to
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know Sister Rosin had kind of mentioned it earlier about taking time for yourself and doing what's comfortable for you. You know, um, allow yourself to have a quiet moment so that you can kind of reflect and gather yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she talked about focusing on what you can control.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be hearing a lot of the holiday festivities, the music, the commercials, and all of that type of stuff. Um, and so you can limit some of that. You can maybe limit some of the decorations. Some people go all out, but you can kind of tone it down a little bit. To help lighten the heaviness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then
Also, I think doing something different from what you did last. Let's say
yeah.
last holidays you just kind of close stuff off and didn't have nothing to do with it, the season at all. Nobody, no family member. This do something different.
Yeah.
If it but have dinner with one person,
Mm-hmm.
you got to do something positive in order to help move you from where you were and to where you want to be. You know, so maybe all this time you just been closing off and not mixing and mingling with anybody. This year I'm gonna mix and mingle with somebody. I'm not gonna close myself off this year.
Right.
I'm gonna make that step to put up my tree this year.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm gonna cook a full course meal this year. Whatever that might be, that would be different, that kept you in that place of grieving last year. Do just the opposite this year.
That's good. Change things up.
Change things
Change it up.
from
Yeah.
what you've been doing. You know, yeah. And little by little, whether you know it or not, it may not feel good while you're doing it, but it's a process that's part of the process of helping you move forward.
And getting outside of yourself. One of the things you can do is, volunteer and do something to help someone less fortunate. Do something, that will take you outside of just focusing on you.
Yeah.
And what what you may be feeling or going through at that time, but you can, actually be a help to someone else.
Yeah. You know, I always found that works good for me. You know, the Bible talks about what you make happen for someone else, he'll make it happen for you.
Yeah.
I find it to be a good thing for me when something is going on with me is to plant a seed in somebody else. You know, and you find yourself somebody planting just the seed that you need into you. You know, if it's one word that somebody said that made you look at life totally different. You know what I'm saying? It may not be a physical thing, but it may be just, just somebody saying it. And I'm like, wow.
Yes. Yeah.
That just changed my whole perspective on what I was thinking and what I was how I felt about that situation. Just that one word. You know,
But there was something.
Let me say, God wants you to be whole and complete in every area, nothing missing and nothing broken. He paid the price for that. You know, he paid the price for you to be whole. You know, and another thing that I have found out when I'm having those down feelings, I have learned how to say it to God. God, this is what I am feeling. I don't like the way I feel.
Yeah.
And I need your help. I invite him to help me.
Yes.
You know, so you may have to just invite him to help you because he's a God that he don't push himself off on anybody. You know, he just kind of wait for you to ask for it. Now he can if he wants to. You know, but he leave the door open. That's why he said I'm standing at the door knocking. You know, he didn't just open up the door. He waited for you to invite him in. And that's our life. He if you're going through a period of grief and you're not processing things well, he's standing there knocking and he's saying, I want to come in because I paid the price for you to be whole.
Yeah. You're on point because in our notes, although it says ask for help and accept it.
Yeah.
It is talking about, while it's not easy, you have to be honest. And the best approach during this time is to let your friends and family know what type of help that you might need. Now, the notes are mentioning shopping, food prepping, or emotional support. But like Lady Jeana said, this one you're asking God for. You're being open. You're being transparent with God, which he knows anyway. And you're letting him know, Lord, I need some help.
Yeah. Because you know what? I find it easy talking to God because I know many of us have been told that you don't supposed to ask God certain things, but that's not true. God said, I know your thoughts before you think it. He already know what you're thinking. So something that I may be ashamed to talk to you about, I can talk to my Father. That's my dad. He's my Father. So I can tell him, oh, I just feel rotten right now. I
Yeah.
don't
Mm-hmm.
like what I'm feeling right now, and this is what I'm feeling. And
Mm-hmm.
just say it out loud what you're feeling. Come in agreement with what you're feeling and watch God do the healing.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Because
Yeah.
going through the process, God is the one that's gonna have to heal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Can't
Yes.
heal ourselves. He's gonna have to be the one that heal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do we have any more questions?
Mm-hmm. We have another comment from Felicia, who said, "My sweetest of the holiday, or my sweetest memory." Um, she put, of a holiday with my sister Kat is we always ate lots of pecans and drank Dr. Pepper. I think about it every year at Christmas time, and it brings me joy, but I truly miss it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And there
Yeah.
are things like that that I do, like with my mom for the Christmas. She always made a special hors d'oeuvre, like because before you you be hungry, you want to eat. When you smell that
Yeah.
food, she would make a special hors d'oeuvre, and so I found myself doing the different traditions that she did. I would do with my children, and
Mm-hmm.
so I make these stuffed celery with the cream cheese and the pecan,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really good. It get kind of addictive. So I would make it, and so my kids, that's what they look forward to me making during the holidays. Mom, you gonna make it? Yeah, I'm gonna make it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
my mom used to do.
Yeah. Awesome.
So that's this is called honoring your memories.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Honoring your memories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So just like they, eat the greasy burgers, and you might have a time where you eating
Yeah.
the pecans and drinking the
The
Dr.
Dr.
Pepper,
Pepper.
So what that reminds me of is some conversations I've had with some of my loved ones. You will joke about when our time comes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you sitting up, we'll talk like that. No, don't be sitting there crying. Y'all go fishing. Go
Yeah.
on a big old fishing trip. So you
Mm-hmm.
can honor their memory by doing the things that brought them joy,
Yeah.
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 you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
remember telling my loved ones that I do not have no funeral that's 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get me where I need to be, and y'all go celebrate my life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go and celebrate my life by doing the
Mm-hmm.
things that made me happy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And whenever you honor those memories, it brings laughter.
Yeah, it
You
does.
you may drop a tear, but
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna bring laughter.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it does. It brings laughter. Oh wow, I
Mm-hmm.
remember. You know, and like I said, we know grief come in different forms. But
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so today we're talking about holiday grief. Holiday grief. Another
Mm-hmm.
question I want to ask. Uh, what warning signs do you look for with holiday grief that indicate it might be leading to depression? I think that's a good question. What
Mm-hmm.
warning signs do you look for with holiday grief that indicate it may be leading to depression? That we don't want to get to that place where you are just totally depressed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just don't want to be around anybody. You don't want to nothing. You in that state of depression.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did either one of you answer that question? What are some signs?
Well, we kind of tapped on it a little bit earlier, but um, if you haven't, well, you can't get out of the sadness. You're feeling stuck in
Overwhelmed.
the grief. You're overwhelmed. Is overtaking you to the point that you can't really function, and you're preoccupied with the loss of a loved one,
Yes.
uh, to the point that you exclude everything else around you, even the other relationships. It may even could affect just your daily activities, going to work, um, And then of course you might, if you to the point where you feeling hopeless, or you want to withdraw from everyone, you want to isolate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If
Um,
you're married, you don't want to be around your husband.
yeah.
If your children, you have children, you're very short-winded with your kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You are going into a state of depression.
Depression. Yeah.
Now, of
Yeah.
those things happening where you can't get along with anybody.
You
Every,
just want to withdraw from life.
yeah, you just withdraw from life.
Mm-hmm.
That is a stage of depression.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so if
Mm-hmm.
having those feelings and you sometimes we are doing things that we're not even aware that we are really in that state of mind, you
Yeah.
know. And that's why it's so important that one of the things that is tell us is that take time for yourself. And we
Yeah.
said this on the last episode, is it's important as men and women to check in with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Check in with yourself. And we
Mm.
need to do that really on a daily basis. Check in with yourself. How you really feeling today? What do you think about blah blah blah, whatever that might be?
Right.
What do you feel about that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what are you doing today to make you happy? What are you saying to yourself? Speaking affirmation is very, very important.
Yeah.
Loving yourself, putting your arms around your own self,
Mm-hmm.
not waiting for somebody else to hug you. Hug you.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to hug you. It's okay to tell you who you are.
Mm-hmm. And say I love you to
And say, I love
yourself
you.
in the mirror.
Yes. So those are important things. So
Yeah.
make sure you take time for yourself. And another good thing is, and I think Felicia said this. Check on. I mean, focus on what you can control. Don't get in that place of depression.
Mm-hmm.
Because with the way things is going now, and what is going on around us now, we can so easily drop in that space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
can so easily drop in that space and not really realize it in the beginning that you're operating in a spirit of depression.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think support groups come in, and having some type of support around you,
Yes.
uh, that will, keep you, help encourage you and empower you, and to bring to your attention,
Yeah.
you know, things that you may not realize what's going on. That they can observe something ain't right with you, and
Yes.
they can call you on it, and help you through it, or get you the help that you need to
Mm-hmm.
get
Ex-
through it.
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Exactly. And the reason why I believe the reason why that doesn't happen a lot of times and you shy away from it is because number one, you don't want to be bothered. That's that
Yes.
feeling you have inside. I don't want to be bothered. I don't even feel like talking to you. I don't even feel like explaining to you what's going on with me.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
from a personal experience, Pastor B, like you said, the support group is important. Being around, people that can relate to what you're going through. They done been through it before. They can help support you. Me personally, I used to think that I didn't look, ladies, before I came a part of UnRuffled Ladies, I used to have the mentality that I don't need that type of support.
Yeah.
I don't need no women friends. I don't need nobody. I don't
Yeah.
need nobody.
Yeah.
Now,
Mhm.
I don't know what that was, whether it was depression, grief, or whatever, but I was there.
Yeah.
But I found out that I did need it. I
Yes.
Mhm.
needed these women. I needed those women at our other Unruffled Lady groups. I
Yeah.
needed them.
Yeah.
Just hearing them talk about their testimonies and their grieving and their whatever it was they were going through, but because they were sitting right there and they survived it and they came through, that encouraged me. It let me know that I wasn't gonna be in this space of pain by myself forever.
Right.
There was a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
And I only seen that light through other women that I was around.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Wow. Well,
Felicia, she said a good sign that depression is setting in is when nothing someone else does or says helps or is rejected.
yes, I totally agree. I totally agree.
Mm,
You know, I don't want to
Mm,
hear it. I don't want to hear it. You don't understand. This is just the way I feel, and this is just it. This is it.
mhm, mhm,
mm-hmm.
You don't want no help.
mhm, mhm.
You got you. I want you to know that you are operating out of a spirit of depression, and that is not God's intention for you. That is
Mhm.
not His will. As I said,
Yeah.
He wants you to be whole and complete, nothing missing and nothing broken. He wants you to operate in the abundance of love in
Yeah.
Him. So if you're in that space, hey, this is just me. Leave me alone. I don't want to bother. You are in a spirit. You're operating in a deep spirit of depression. Stop it.
Yes.
Stop it.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We hope
Yes.
we hope that we're really helping you. I know it's been helpful for me. Roger, I want to ask you: uh, is there a way to break the cycle of holiday grief?
Uh, yes, there is. And
How do we really break that cycle where every year, at the same time, I've even said it myself when it comes to finances. Man, look like every year at the same time, my money look funny.
mm-hmm.
Because you can be in you can have grief over because you don't have lack of money,
Yeah.
lack of anything.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to us about how to break that cycle, even thinking about it. Even sometimes it's so bad until you just go ahead and begin to prophesy to yourself. Well, I already know. I
That's
already
right.
know something about December month. My money is funny. This is
That's
going
right.
and that's gonna happen. You just you begin to prophesy it even before the month of December get here.
That's right.
And the
You
reason why
right.
I know that that's gonna happen because it's been happening to me for years. Every year it's the same thing. That's what
That's
happens.
right. That's right. That's right.
Mhm,
That's also a belief system that you've set up for yourself.
mhm.
Yeah,
And you actually end up experiencing it. Number one, you spoke it.
you spoke it.
You spoke it.
Yeah.
So yes, there are some things that you can do to break the cycle. So to break the cycle of holiday grief, you can try to acknowledge your feelings. Now, pay attention to this because it sounds a little common, you know, but these things that you're hearing, you have to hear them, embrace them, and then apply them to that time of grief. Apply
Mhm.
it to your life. So it says you can try to acknowledge your feelings. Create new traditions that honor your loved one. Set
Mhm.
realistic expectations. Seek support from loved ones or therapists. And
Mhm.
memories of the deceased into your celebrations, which allows yourself to feel both sadness and joy simultaneously.
Mm.
Mhm, mhm,
Wow.
So, um, to break the cycle, you don't break the cycle by ignoring your feelings.
mhm,
You don't
Yeah.
break them by ignoring it. That
mhm,
doesn't work. As a matter of fact, I think it sends you either deeper into the grief,
Mhm.
mhm.
you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think one thinks that if they create new traditions and break that pattern of what that loved one used to do all the time, it's almost like you're saying you're erasing them. You're erasing their memory.
Yeah.
You
Mm,
know,
mhm,
it's like
Yeah.
we forgetting about them.
Yeah.
No, no. I think if we think about what that loved one would want for you,
Mm-hmm.
What would that loved one want for you? They
Mm-hmm.
would want you to continue living and thriving and learning and to becoming aware of the new aspects of your life that brings you happiness,
Mm-hmm.
even with them not being there.
Yeah.
I'm almost for certain that's what your loved one would want for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. You have anything you want to share on that, Valicia? How to break the cycle?
Um, I
How to
I
break?
think, yeah, breaking the cycle, doing something that do something totally different from what you've been accustomed to doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it may mean celebrating at a different location,
Mhm,
because in my case, we always went to my grandmother's house for a holiday. That's where
Mm-hmm.
we went. So you might have to go, set plan for a different location,
Mm-hmm.
or um, you know, taking a family trip or something, that you can establish a new tradition of some sort. You know, um, uh, really for me, really, normally I would go home to celebrate, but there have
Mm-hmm.
been times I couldn't go home, so I had to do something different here, where I live, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that has been so that's where I get, doing the things that my mother would do over the holidays, I would do it here with my kids,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of feel a little bit closer to her or feel a little closer to home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, I've celebrated, holidays with others as well, not necessarily just doing it at home. But I think one Christmas holiday, I took myself out. I went out for Christmas dinner instead of cooking it, because I think that was the first year my children went. They went home to
Mm-hmm.
be with their dad, and so I was like, "What do I do?" And so for that Christmas, I took myself out. Because I could have very well been moped and like, I don't have nowhere to go and I don't know what to do. I said, no, take yourself out for Christmas. So that's
Yeah.
what I did. And I enjoyed myself, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
mm,
Our time has really have been spent, but I want to kind of tap in just a few minutes on children grief because we
Mm,
know children have grief as well. It's
mm-hmm.
an adult, but children go through different grief as well, loss of loved one or whatever it might be, maybe a divorce with their mom and dad, uh, you know, different things. So children have grief. Let's kind of hit on that as well. How do we handle children grief?
I think the main thing, one of the main things, because there were several things, but one of the main things that I saw was not to pretend that the death didn't occur.
mhm,
Because as adults, when something like that happens, we talk over children many times because we
Mm.
feel like they wouldn't understand or would be too much for
But
them.
yeah,
And so we kind of talk over them, and
yeah,
they're tuning in to what's going on,
yeah. I think
and they're picking up on things.
yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things that we make as parents or aunts or whoever, grandmother, that we think kids can't handle certain things. And
Hmm.
so it caused them to quieten down and not talk and get into their own little thing. And then all of a sudden you begin to see them act out,
Yeah.
start doing things that they weren't normally doing. It's all because that you didn't sit down and walk through whatever have went on in their life with them and then allow them to feel what they feel or allow
Hmm.
them to talk about it. Sometimes that's grown up conversation, but they experience
Yeah.
it too.
Hmm. Hmm.
Our children is going to experience whatever we experience. They're
Yeah.
going to go whatever we go through in life, they go through it too.
Hmm.
So
mhm.
it have to be okay for them to talk about what they feeling, what they what they're not if they're young if they old enough to feel it, that they're old enough for you to talk to them about it.
That's
Hmm.
right.
whatever that
Mm-hmm.
might be.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times we kind of push them to the side and feel you don't need to be talking about that. Just everything gonna be okay. It's all right. Just go to your room and play. Go to the game. You don't need to talk about that. No, if they have approached you with it, let them feel open to come and talk to you about whatever that be that they're feeling.
That's
Because
right.
Mm-hmm.
they go through that spirit of that place of grief. And so you don't want them to go through a spirit of grief. Because if they
Yeah.
begin spirit of grief, then you see them acting out in school. You see them acting out on
Mm-hmm.
the they start doing things
Mm-hmm.
that you didn't raise them to do it, but because you
Mm-hmm.
properly coach them through that spirit, through that time of grief, it causes trigger to something else down the road.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And do we have any more questions or answers?
Yeah, I think we do.
Okay.
Um, back to this. Okay, so we have Felicia. She said talking to them and allowing them to express what they are feeling, and then you can help to direct them in the right direction.
Yes, exactly.
Communicating with them.
Yes,
Because it confuses them when you're acting like nothing happened.
yes,
It's
yes.
confusing to them,
Yeah.
and you
And
know,
and
we
they
need to
said
be
that
honest.
I
Be
know
honest
my
about how our feelings too.
yeah, I know my mom and dad just got a divorce, and I want my dad, I want my mom, whatever. I'm just using an example,
Mm-hmm.
but act like, look, that's grown folks' business. Stay out of it. Go, and that's
Mm-hmm.
the wrong thing to do.
So
Yeah.
indirectly, we are teaching them how to improperly grieve.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Indirectly, we are teaching them how to grieve abnormally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
like Lady Jeana said, our time has been well spent. You know, it's 5 o'clock. Our next Unruffled Ladies date is November the 24th. That's the Sunday before Thanksgiving, which is on the 28th. Are we traveling? We'll be here, Lady Jeana.
When? November the what now?
November the 24th.
That's
That's
after
the
Thanksgiving or
that's the fourth Sunday.
after Thanksgiving?
That's the Sunday before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Thanksgiving's on the 28th.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll be here.
We will
All
be.
right.
Yeah.
Also in the comments, ladies audience, please visit the Unruffled Ladies page and please leave your ideas on topics that you feel are important that you'd like to hear us discuss, and so you can discuss them with us and invite people. We
Yeah.
welcome your ideas.
Yeah.
Please feel
Yeah.
free.
Yes. And also, you might want to be a guest. You might have a story that you would like to share. You might want to be one. I guess you can inbox us, and one of us will get in touch with you. We would love to have you as one of the guests as well.
Can I
Absolutely.
just leave the resources for someone?
Yes.
Um, you can for grief, holiday grief, or just grief period. There's some resources. AARP has an online grief and loss forum. You can check them out, and they also have a family caregivers discussion group. It's a Facebook group, so care is family caregivers. And another resource, which I would have never thought, is
Hmm.
funeral homes. We don't
Wow.
necessarily like to go to the funeral homes for a visit or whatever. But they have, if you visit their websites and their blogs, they have some really great information on dealing with grief. They're dealing with it
Okay.
all the time. And
Yeah.
then, of course, there's all
That-
kinds of books and videos, podcasts, and support groups. Hospice agency is another one,
Yeah.
and caregivers agency.
Hmm.
Those are some resources you can tap, to get some help or some assistance with holiday grief.
Wow. Wow. That's good. So we
Yeah.
just want to say thank you so very much for being a part of Unruffled Ladies today. We have enjoyed you being with us. We have enjoyed all your questions, all your answers, your input. Please like and share, as we have already said. And this platform is all about you becoming balanced, at ease, and confidence. And confidence. And what so that's so important that you live a balanced life. It's so important that you be confident in who God created you to be and enjoy life.
Yes.
Enjoy life. Trouble come all the time. That's the word, But guess what? In the midst of all of it, if you add God to the equation, He helps maneuver through all the things that we have to experience in life. So be blessed. Know that we love you, and we know that this year is going to be so different. If you are one of those people that has been grieving in the past, we just speak now and we put it in the atmosphere. This year will be one of the most beautiful years of celebrating that you ever had, because you're not walking in the spirit of grief.
Yeah.
You're going to keep you. We love you. We'll see you on the next time. God bless.
Bye.
Bye-bye.